right, I think we are live on YouTube now. It says, yeah, we are live on YouTube. All right, so I would like to introduce our presenter today, Bapak Ahmad Suyono. He is one of our faculty member in English Department, State Polytechnic of Malang. He received his master's degree from Indiana State University, United States, majoring in educational technology. Pak Ahmad Suyono, time is yours.
Okay, thank you so much, Bu Nadia. And I'd like to greet all of you, especially the international students. I'd like to welcome you to our country virtually. Okay, maybe some of you are here already, but I see many of you are still in your home countries. Okay, I see their dark backgrounds. I see maybe it is still too early in the morning. Okay, so thank you for joining us in this orientation session. And of course, it can be also a good time for everybody to know one another, at least from pictures. I see live videos, that's good, but most of you are displaying profiles. Okay? At least I can see names. So please try to enjoy this session. I know that it can be very hard because you are new, and the material that I'm going to present can be intimidating sometimes. There are a lot of technical terms, and the most important thing is that you don't have any knowledge about how to access the material that I'm going to present. Okay, but please bear with me. I'm trying to be very slow. I'm trying to be very clear, hopefully. So I'd like to share with you some slides, and I'd like to limit my presentation only for 1 hour. And after that, I'd like to open question and answer sessions. Basically, maybe there are a lot of things that you don't understand or maybe still new, then you can share with us. I'm displaying my slides right now. Okay, can anybody see the title of my slides? Polinema LMS Guide for Students.
Yes, Pak Ahmad, we can see it.
Thank you, Bu Nadia. So this is the keywords of my presentation. We have LMS and students. I know that the guide can be for teachers, but for today, it is especially for the new students, the international students that are going to study in our campus at Polinema. Okay, so as you know, Polinema stands for Polytechnic Negeri Malang in our language. Okay? So let us begin. Basically, this is the guidelines that you are going to receive. During the presentation, you may have questions. There are things that you don't understand well. This is natural. But believe me, after the presentation, or maybe sometimes this week or this month, you are going to receive the guideline, okay, in print or maybe available online. Okay, so we promise you to provide it for you to anticipate the next courses. So again, the keyword is LMS. So what is LMS? LMS stands for Learning Management System. Okay, so Polinema LMS is the learning management system that is installed in our campus, that is used by faculty members and all of students in our campus. Okay? And the second one is that it is an online platform. Okay? When you need to use it, when you need to access it, then online resources must be available. Okay? You are going to need a lot of resources. Okay, you are going to need your laptop, you are going to need your smartphone, you are going to need your data connection, and so on. Okay, so be aware that it is an online platform. Okay, you cannot do anything unless you are online and you use the required devices. Okay? And this guideline will consist of 4 sections, but the most important sections will be the first and the second one. Okay? How to log in and how to navigate. Okay? The next section will be extras. Okay? So I'd like to limit the materials so that it is not too overwhelming for most of you. Okay? So with this guide, hopefully you will have some information about how to access the system, the LMS, how to navigate it, how to understand the requirements, and also how to use it for your courses, to submit the materials, to read your teacher's feedback, and perhaps to communicate with friends. Okay? First, I'd like to begin with a reminder. Okay? So this is for everybody, not only for you as the students, but also for the teachers. Okay? Online courses, as I told you before, our LMS is online, so there will be a lot of online courses in the system, require a great deal of organization and self-management. Okay? Nobody will see you. Okay? Whether you are wearing pajamas, whether you are wearing formal suit, for instance, then we are not going to see you. Okay? But you have to be aware that you need to organize yourself, you need to manage your activities. Okay? And therefore, you need the following key skills. Okay? You need time management. Okay? Uh, the due date is still maybe in 2 days, for instance. Okay, but you just cannot wait until the last minute. Okay, and then the next one is strong reading and writing skills. Okay, most of the activities will require to write something, but before you write, you need to read the instructions. You need to read some materials. Okay, and the next 2 important skills will be your ability to honor deadlines. Okay. Some students may be easy to, to make excuses, okay. But your teachers will see patterns, okay. Whether you are always making excuses, okay, or maybe just once in a time you do things that is considered to be an excuse. Okay, and the next one will be effective communication. Okay, your teacher should welcome you anytime. In case you have questions, in case you have difficulties. Okay, so do not delay until too late. Okay, for asking questions to communicate with your teachers. Okay, so try to solve the problems as soon as possible. Okay. The next one, the next reminder will be, again, it is also for everybody. The following 3 aspects can be of very serious problems, hindrances for the flow of our courses. Okay, so the first one is internet connection. Okay, as you can see, this type of activity, live discussions, for instance, usually for 1 hour, you need to have 1 gigabyte data connection, and it is not easy for everybody. Okay, and for live communication at the LMS, maybe chat or forum, for instance, well, it can be very affordable, okay, but still you need internet connection. Okay, and then the second one is about time. Okay, some of you are still in your home country. There can be 7 hours time difference, so maybe 3 or 4 hour time difference, for instance. But basically, it can be difficult for you to manage if you are not accustomed to. Okay? So try to understand that there are differences, okay? But it doesn't mean that you can use this condition, these time restrictions as an excuse to delay things. Okay? Your teachers can provide you with help, okay? But if it is too late, then of course your teacher will find it difficult to prepare some resources for you. Okay? And then the last one is about device. It can be your computer, it can be your smartphone. Most of our resources are designed to be, uh, you know, easy to use, whether it is in a large screen display or small screen display, okay? Whether it is in a laptop or maybe in your smartphone. Okay? But we are aware that if you use your smartphone, the speed of your typewriting can be slower than when you are using your laptop. Okay, so that's why uh, if you think that you don't have the required device, then you have to communicate. At the beginning of our enrollment, I believe that the committee has asked you some questions about having or not having a laptop. That is a part of the business. Okay. Now, let us begin with how to use our LMS. Okay? Again, LMS stands for Learning Management System. Okay? Now, when you want to access our LMS, you need the following four materials. Okay? When you need to log in, you need to have the following four preparations. Okay? The first three are mandatory. The last one, well, it can be an optional. Okay? The first one is a web browser. Okay? You are aware of this, I think, if you are, you are always online. Okay? There are a lot of web browser. You have Brave browser. You have Google Chrome. You have Firefox or maybe Safari, for instance. Okay, but the recommended browser is Google Chrome. It's not that we have an affiliation with Google. It's only that usually Google Chrome is updated frequently. So if there is a threat on the internet, it is quick to fix. Okay. The second one, okay, you are going to need your courses, of course. Okay. The website. Okay, the link to the website. Okay. Our LMS course URL, the website link. Okay, so we are going to provide you with the link where you can access the LMS. Okay, after this, and then the next one, okay, will be your accounts. After you register at our campus, then you will receive your student ID. Okay, you are going to use your student ID to log in to the system. Okay? And the last one, okay, it can be an optional. Some teachers may require you to enroll individually, okay? But most of the times, our staff have arranged that every student, okay, has been assigned to a certain class automatically. Okay? But in case then you need the so-called self-enrollment key. Okay, so this is the discussion about the web browser. Okay, so this is the basic scale that you need in using the internet. Okay, so if you have had the browser installed or pre-installed in your computer, so you can just ignore it. You can just use it. Okay. Of course, Chrome is not. It can be not your preferred choice. It's up to you. It is only recommended, but you don't have to, use it if you don't like it. Okay, you have feel free to use other browsers. Okay, but make sure that it is available in your computer. Try to adjust the settings to suit your need. Okay. Okay, the next one. This is the link to our LMS. Okay, so try to take notes on this information. The link is lms.polinema.ac.id. Okay, so as usual, when you need to visit an address like this, okay, you need to type it in your browser address. Okay, what I provide on the right hand side is the welcome screen before you log in. Okay, if you can see on this welcome page, on the top right hand side, there is the login button. Okay, so that is the first button that you need to click in, okay, before you can access the content of the LMS. Okay, so once again, take notes on the link. It is lms.polinema.ac.id. Okay, you can follow me by accessing the website. Okay, after this, I will provide you with the account. So if you have a laptop, an extra laptop available in front of you, just try to access it. Okay, that is the link. Okay, and this is the account. Okay, we have enrolled you in the system, and for the time being, the username and the password are identical. It is your student ID. Okay. I think if you receive the ID, you can see that it is a 10-digit number. Okay. It begins with 20, okay, because it is the academic year that you start in. Okay. And after that, you have some codes that you don't have to understand anyway. But basically, okay, if you received your student ID right now, if you have received your student ID right now, okay, then you can join me, okay, by interacting with the website right away. Okay, so after you click on the login button, then you will have the login screen. Okay, the title is LMS Polinema. It is in Bahasa Indonesia. Okay, but the instructions, all of them are in English. It's only the title that is in Bahasa Indonesia. The rest of the information will be in English. Hopefully, it can be easy for you to follow. So, username and password, okay, will be using your student ID. Okay, the next one. Okay, now when you participate in online courses, in online activities, you are not separated from others. Okay, it is only online, but you need to socialize with others. You need to communicate with them. Okay, and one of the key aspects that you are going to use to socialize is your gesture to open yourself. Okay, you use your real name, not your nickname. For instance, you try to provide your profile photo so that you can, your friends can see that, oh, this one is Ahmad, like my name. Okay, or maybe I see Mariam, for instance. Oh, this is Moses, let's say. Okay, so provide safe, sufficient information to others. Okay, I know that some of the information can be too personal to share, but I believe that sharing a profile picture, sharing your real name, sharing your email address to your colleagues will not be hurting anybody. Okay, so try to be aware and try to understand as well that it is a community. Okay, the community can be good if you are willing to socialize with others, and it begins with your account at the LMS. Okay, so open the LMS and then open the profile, edit your profile, and try to provide the most recent information, working phone numbers, working email address, and so on. Okay, and then the last component that you are going to need to use the LMS is the self-enrollment key. As I told you before, it can be optional. Not all of the teachers are going to use it, but in case there is a situation where your teacher assigned you to use an enrollment key, then you are aware of at least of the term self-enrollment key. It is a kind of password to enter to a certain course. Okay, the instructions are quite direct and communicative, I believe. Okay, so as you can see on the screen, okay, there is this button, enroll me, or maybe some other types of instructions. Okay, but basically it will be asking you to click on it and enter the enrollment key. Okay, there is no standard for the enrollment key. It can be 5 digits, it can be maybe 10 digits, alphabetical or maybe numeric characters. Okay? Okay, just be prepared. Sometimes some teachers may require you to use this self-enrollment key. Okay, let's move on to the next section. Okay, now we are entering our LMS, navigating Polinema LMS. Okay, so what we are going to see will be menus. Okay, will be pages that you are going to view at the LMS. Okay, so this is the first one. If you log in right now at the system, then all of you are already registered at a demo course. Okay, it is AE-demo. Okay, so you can do anything you wish with the instruction there. If there is instruction to submit something, do it. You can submit just a blank picture, for instance, or maybe a blank document, for instance. If it is asking you to do an exercise, maybe a multiple choice activity, for instance, okay, do it, because it will not be graded. Okay? It's only an activity for you to try. Okay, so when you log into your course to the LMS and view your course, then there are 3 things, at least there will be 3 things that you need to follow, okay, to do. The first one is to take a look, of course. Okay, take a look. Okay, take a look at and try to understand the information. Okay, the information can be a welcoming message from the teacher. It can be instructions for the upcoming events. Okay, and the second one would be, well, if you think that the information is not clear, it is natural that you need to ask your teacher. Okay, so feel free, okay, to ask your teacher about any issues regarding your courses. Okay, of course, not about his or her personal uh, life, okay, about the academic activities. Okay, sometimes you also need to download the materials. You have to read it in your spare time. Okay, and some of you may be sufficient, feel comfortable to read materials on your gadgets, on maybe on your laptop or on your smartphone, but some of you may need to print it. Okay, so uh, you are welcome to choose any format that you are going to select, whether you want to read it online, okay, at the LMS, or maybe you download it. Okay, your teacher has provided this button to to interact with the materials. Okay, I'm going to explain and give you illustration about looking, asking, and downloading. Okay, the first one is about taking a look. Okay, the first page is usually the so-called dashboard. Okay, on the right-hand side, okay, you will see lists of courses. there will be information, the content, information about the content of the course, like what you see on the left-hand side of the screenshot. It is AE demo, and then you have participants, badges, competencies, grades, and so on. This is the information that you need to look at. It is about you. It is the places that you have to face it quite often. Okay, and on the right-hand side, there will be details of the information, whether it is instruction, whether it is announcements, for instance. Okay, so be willing and feel, try to feel that it is a mandatory. It is required for you to read and to understand the information. Okay, and then the next one is about asking your teacher. You feel that there are things that you need to confirm with the teachers, and there are a lot of channels that you can choose. Okay, you can use emails. Okay, you at the beginning of the course, your teacher will provide you with his or her email address. Okay, it can be a WhatsApp number. In Indonesia, WhatsApp is the most popular messaging service. Okay, instant messaging service. Okay, maybe in your country it can be it can be Signal, for instance. Okay, maybe some other applications. Okay, so email and WhatsApps are separated from the LMS. Okay, but if you don't know your teacher's email address or WhatsApp number, for instance, then you can use the built-in communication channel. Okay, on the top, usually on the right-hand side, you have the small bubble icon. Okay, so it is next to your name. Okay, you have your on the top right-hand side, you have your profile photo, you have your full name. Okay, on the left side, next to your name, will be the messaging service, the internal messaging service provided by the LMS. Okay, so you can search, you can you can just try to find the persons you want to interact with. Okay, so ask your teacher through different channels available for you. Okay, and then the next one will be downloading, reading the information provided in the course. Okay, some materials are rare, some materials can be expensive. Okay, but your teachers have done their best, okay, to provide free of charge materials. Okay, when it is available at the course, okay, usually it is free. Okay, so use it. Okay, try to provide sufficient space in your smartphone or maybe in your laptop, okay, to store all the downloaded materials from your courses. Okay, and the next one, I'd like to discuss activities at our LMS. Okay, with the word activities, I try not to confuse you with your activities like running, jogging, or maybe watching TVs. Okay, with this word activities, what I mean is that it is the menu at our LMS. Specific menu activities. Okay, when you click on the button, then details will pop up. Okay, so it is not what activities you are going to do. It is about the available menus at the LMS. Okay, sorry, there was a notification on my desktop that my connection is low. Bapak Ibu, or maybe some students can confirm whether you can still listen to me?
Yes, Pak Ahmad, we
Yes,
can
Pak
still
Ahmad.
listen. We can,
Okay.
yeah, your
Okay.
voice
Thank
is
you.
Still,
clear.
yeah,
Thank you.
we still can see your slide.
Okay. Good.
We are
Okay. There
getting
was
you.
just a pop-up message.
The voice is also clear, Pak Ahmad.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, because there was just a pop-up message on my screen stating that my connection is not stable. Thank you so much. Okay, so these are the activities, okay, that your teachers may assign you to do. Okay, so the names of the activities can be assignment, attendance, chat, choice, and so on. It is the names of the activities. Okay, what the students need to remember is actually the icon, because assignment can be written in different names. Okay? For instance, it can be presentation slides, for instance, or maybe it is, let's say, discussion discussion guidelines submission, for instance. Okay, so the names can be changed, but the icons, okay, will be as you can see on the screen. Okay, the first one, for instance, the icon shows a display of your hand with a piece of paper on top of it. Okay, and then for instance, if you scroll down, then you will see two bubbles. Okay, this is the symbol of a chat activity. Okay, there are so many activities, but I'd like to limit my discussion to 4 types of activities. The first one is course materials. The next one is communication, and then the third one is assignment, and the last one is quiz. Okay, now you are worrying yourselves about those different terms. What can be the difference between assignment and quiz? Okay, so let's move on. So the first one is course material. Okay, this is the static. What you need to do is just to see. You do need to interact with the material by submitting or maybe by confirming things. Now, what you need to do is just to click on it and to read. Okay, maybe you need to download it. Okay, but basically it is just a display of materials. Okay, and then the second important activities, the second important activity is the communication activities. Okay, uh, at least there are 2 types of communication activities. This is the chat and forum activities. Okay, the difference is that chat will be real-time communication. Okay, for instance, your teachers assign you to have a chat activity, then usually there is a time limit. Okay, for instance, from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay, if you need a longer time, if the teacher needs a longer time to interact, usually he or she is going to use a forum activity. Okay, so chat needs real-time attention. Okay, real-time commitment to communicate. You cannot just say hello right now and your friends will answer it tomorrow. Okay, there should be real-time, like you are using your WhatsApp. Okay, so it is natural that the other parties will expect you to be quick in responding to the information. Okay, forum will be different. Okay, in forum usually longer time will be provided by the teachers. It can be 2 days or 3 days to discuss things, to have longer interactions with one another. Okay, the next one will be assignment. Okay, take a look on the icon again. Okay, so hand, okay, with a piece of paper on top of it. Okay, or someone is holding a piece of paper. Okay, so basically in this type of activity, you are required to provide answers with text or with documents that you can write online or you can upload online to the system. Okay, And the key difference with other types of activities is that it is not automatically graded by the system. Okay, for instance, you submit a report, okay, then your teacher will download it or maybe will read it online and will grade your submission manually. Okay, it is different to quiz activity. Okay. Quiz activity is graded automatically by the system. Okay, how can the system grade the activity? Okay, because your teacher has provided the key, okay, the information, the answers to the questions. Okay, the most common types of quiz will be multiple choice quiz, short answer quiz, for instance, okay, like spelling, for instance, when you want to write squirrel, okay, then you need to type in each letter one by one correctly. If it is missing the L, for instance, when it is wrong. Okay, if you add an extra S at the end, for instance, oh, well, then it is considered to be wrong. Okay? So be aware about the differences. Assignment is not graded automatically. Quiz is graded automatically. So that's why you can expect that your teachers will provide the feedback, the scores longer if the assignment activity is given to you, not quiz activity. Okay, when it is quiz activity, you can see the answers, you can see the feedback, you can see your grades right after you finish the quiz. Okay, of course, your teachers can hide the result. Okay, but normally after you finish the quiz, you can see the results. Now, it should be the last section, the last important section. Okay, is about activity restriction. Okay, when your teacher provide you with information, maybe the information is not always there at the LMS. Okay, when your teacher gives you an assignment, the assignment will not be at the LMS for the whole semester. Okay, your teacher will restrict the length of time to which you can access the activity. Okay, so the restriction can be to the submission time. Okay. It can be to the file format. It can be to the activity access. Okay, what does it mean? Okay, let's take a look. Submission time. Okay, so it is the most common feature of the LMS that you have to do a certain assignment within, okay, the given time. Okay. Your teachers have allotted a certain time, okay, to do the assignment, not before, not after. Okay. For instance, here, okay, when you open the assignment, submit a copy of your presentation, for instance, then you will see that the due date is Friday, the 11th of September. Okay. When it is available for you to submit the assignment, then at the bottom of the screen, you will have this button, Add Submission. Why? Because it is available. Okay. Sometimes the button is not there. Okay. Why? Because you are restricted. Okay. You are not allowed to submit the assignment, okay, because it is not the time yet. Okay. So be aware of this condition, okay, and always check the date, the due date, when you have to submit it. Okay. Some teachers can be very strict about, you're following the rules, okay, especially on the due date of your submission. Okay. Some teachers may be a little bit lenient by having grace period. Okay. The next one, it can be restriction on the file formats. Okay, when you submit documents, usually the most common format will be PDF, can be Microsoft Word document. Okay, when it is about your presentation, then it must be in PowerPoint slide files. Okay, so as you can see on the screen, there's an example of the file format restriction. Okay, at the bottom of the screen, okay, above the Save Changes button, okay, then you will see files of these types may be added to the submission. Okay, PPT, PPTX, not PDF, not Microsoft Word. Okay, so you should be aware of this so that you do not confuse yourself from trying to upload a document, but it was, let's say, it keeps being rejected. Okay, so read the instructions and try to see what restrictions are applied to the assignment. Okay, now the next one, okay, will be the restriction on the access, okay, activity access. Okay, so the restriction, okay, can be in terms of time, can be in terms of the user specific. Okay, it can be also other activities. Okay, for instance, here, okay, you have an example. Okay, response to an invitation. Okay. Previously here, above the response to an invitation, if you can see my screen, then there is invitation to product presentation. It is not restricted. Okay. You can view this. Okay. But in the next section, the next quiz is not feasible. You cannot click on it. Okay. You cannot access that. Why? Because your teacher imposes a certain restriction to the material. Okay. So that is the most important aspects that you need to be aware of. Okay. Now, the next one. Okay. It is just a reminder. Okay. Our system is being improved. Okay. So you should expect that there will be a lot of changes, differences even from what I'm trying to tell you this morning to what you are going to see next week. Okay. Why? Okay. So now we are in the middle of a migration process, okay, from the old model into a new model. Okay. So our LMS is based on this popular learning management system. Okay? It is called Moodle. So if you don't understand my instructions clearly, you can go online and try to search for Moodle guideline. It will be the same. Okay. The interface can be different, maybe the color can be different. For instance, our welcoming screen at our LMS is blue. Maybe in other websites, it can be red. What you are going to see in the guideline that you find on the internet, it can be yellow, for instance, but the content will be the same. Okay, so don't worry if you you miss some information in my presentation. You can go online and try to find information about Moodle guidelines. Okay, so we are migrating from an old Moodle 3.4 to a later version, 3.8. Okay, now I think it is moving to 3.9, okay, because it is a popular and free LMS. So the communities are very diligent to contribute. So that's why changes are quite speedy. Okay. The next migration item is about the address. At the beginning of my presentation this morning, I tried to display where you can access the information. It is from lms.polinema.ac.id. Okay, but with the when the migration is complete, or maybe your teacher is trying to try to play, let's say, with the new system, try to pinpoint some topics, some features, or maybe some menus interesting for the students, then maybe he or she is going to use the new LMS. Okay, the address is almost the same. The old address is lms.polinema.ac.id. Okay, so what I have been explaining is the interface of the old LMS. Okay, however, what you are going to see even in the new LMS will be similar things. Okay, the icons will be similar, but maybe the display arrangement is a little bit different. Okay, let's say whether it is on the left hand side, and the new layout will be somewhere in the middle. Okay, but believe me, the interface will be quite familiar in both versions, whether it is the old address or the new address. Okay, so again, take notes on the address. Okay, you can try to log in to both address using your student ID. Okay, so you can try, okay, to feel the difference, in what way it is similar, in what way it is different. Okay, so that's it. Okay. Again, LMS can be something new for you. Okay, or maybe some of you has had a previous experience in using the LMS. Okay, but basically from my presentation today, okay, is an encouragement for all of you to embrace this platform. Okay. In our campus, if later on the condition is getting better, maybe the pandemic is over, for instance, you will be in our campus. Okay, so your teachers can be providing you with in-person activities, okay, classroom activities. Okay? But still, in one way or another, uh, the the institution or maybe the department will require the teachers to go online. Okay? And with this requirement, students, whether intensively or not, will interact with the LMS. Okay? So be aware of the situation and try to use that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Pak Ahmad, for the presentation, and it is very clear and it's very fruitful information about the use of our LMS. But yes, maybe I will open question and answer session. I will open for 3 questions first. Please, if you have question, feel free to write down in the chat box or simply raise your hand.
Bu Neni, can I ask question to Pak Ahmad, please?
Yes, yes, please, Bu
Yeah.
Hilda.
Should I wait until other people question, or I can state my question right now?
Yes, yes, you may ask right now.
You
Well,
have the
Okay.
wait for the
privilege
others'
to ask
question.
first.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Pak Ahmad. Thank you
Morning,
so much
Bu Hilda.
for giving us. This is very informative and also useful training for our students. And so you already informed us that there is new type. Is that new version of LMS? Yeah. So in order to access that, we simply go to the new address, or we have to do something else. Like me, especially for teachers, because I got that information just now from you that we've got a new version of LMS. So we simply use new address, or we need to actually update some app or not. Thank you.
Okay. Should I answer it right away, Bu Nani?
Yes, please, Pak Ahmad.
Okay, thank you, Bu Nani. So, as you can see from my explanations before, some parts can be new for everybody, not only for teachers, not only for students, it is even new for me. So I just got this information last week about the migration process. So I believe that I would miss a lot of materials that I have stored in the old LMS. Okay, so the Center of Information Technology in our campus is responsible in the migration process. Okay, they promised that they will bring the old materials of the LMS to the new LMS. Okay, but it will take time, very long time. It can be 1 semester, it can be 2 semesters. Okay, so that's why both versions will be available side by side. Okay, you can use both of them. Okay, for instance, for one class, I will be using the old LMS. Maybe for another course, I will be using the new LMS. The most important thing is that the teacher should inform the students where the class is. Okay. So that's why maybe through email communication, WhatsApp communication, or maybe through face-to-face communication, the teacher should tell explicitly where the class is, whether it is at LMS dot blah 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 or at LMS C19. Okay. So both are still available, and right now there is training on using the new LMS. Okay, in progress even right now. Okay,
but they're still preparing it.
Don't worry. Sorry, Wilda?
They are still preparing it.
Yeah, I mean the system is already there to use. Okay.
Okay, Pak Ahmad, what is a simple difference or the basic difference between the new version and the old one?
Okay, basically it is on the features. Okay, there will be new extra features. For instance, in the past, for language teachers, we don't have the so-called 360 adventure. For instance, you are visiting a place and you can experience the area in that place. Okay. But with the new LMS, for instance, then you can have this kind of activity. You can provide a display of a room, a display of an area, or display of a factory, for instance. Okay, and you can see exactly what is happening there. Okay, just from the LMS. Okay, so a lot of new features. Okay, and usually there will be bug fixes. Okay, the bug fixes can be minor, it can be major fixes. Okay, so I think the technical staff will understand a lot about this. Okay, but for us, for our teacher, basically what we are going to see is a new interface, a new user interface. For students, don't worry, you are not going to get involved with those problems in using the menu. Okay, what you can do is only to consume the available materials. Okay, you can just click on it. You can just read the materials. You can click on a button to do a quiz, for instance. Don't worry, things will be quite familiar for students.
Thank you, Pak Ahmad. I'm just wondering if there is also training for students about this. It's not just teachers. Do they also prepare training for students too?
I think as what we did a few years ago, uh, the staff of our unit, perhaps our department, should provide a written guideline. Okay, so we don't have this kind of training, online training or Zoom training. For instance, okay, uh, what will be provided is a written guideline, okay, and the guideline will be provided at the website. It will be distributed to the students, okay, by the teachers. The teachers should interact more with the students to provide guidelines.
Okay, that's really good. Thank you, Pak Ahmad.
You're welcome, Bu.
Well, okay, Pak Ahmad, here I found a question from Chan Paul. Can the password be changed?
Of course. So some information, okay, can be changed through your profile page. Okay, so when you want to change, try to click on your picture on the top right hand side. Okay, there will be a menu, edit profile. Okay, you can change your password. Okay, you can change extra information like phone number, email address, for instance. I reminded you about providing up-to-date information, your profile, your profile photo, for instance, and then email address. Let's say it can be very crucial for you when you forgot your password. Yeah, so you can restore the information, okay, only by providing that working information, working email address. Okay, so yes, Bu, students and teachers as well can change password.
Okay, thank you, Pak Ahmad. Is there
You're
any
welcome.
other question? Well, maybe I have my own question, Pak Ahmad.
Okay, Bu.
Yeah, okay. In relation to the migration of the news model, I've tried to log into the news LMS in with the same username and password, and I cannot log into to the LMS. So is there any what is that? Should I have a news username or news password again, or should I yeah, maybe that's my
Yeah.
question.
So as I told you a few minutes ago, I got the information last week about the migration process. And of course, the migration would involve not only about, you know, the materials to store, okay, but also the users, okay, to be migrated into. Okay. And I got my account 2 days ago. Okay, and it was through a very a lengthy discussion to request the correct account, the correct type of account, whether it is user or teacher, and so on. So expect that the teachers would get the accounts later this week or next week. Okay, I think there will be invitation or announcement from the department about who is going to use the LMS at the new address, who is going to stay in the old address, for instance. Okay, so you cannot use your old the information at the old LMS, okay, in the new LMS. Okay, you will not have the access unless you ask for it.
I see. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Pak. Yeah. It's confusing actually for me, whether I want to prepare it for the next semester and for the all students that they will start the class next week, and that's why I asked about it.
Well, don't be confused, Bu. Just stick on the old LMS. If you think that it is confusing, stick there. Okay, it won't hurt anybody.
Oh,
Okay?
yeah.
And then there are a lot of things new later on for the teachers. It can be overwhelming for you as well. But you know, you will never walk alone. Okay, Liverpool. Okay,
Yeah.
so you will get helps from a lot of people around you. You can be the head of department, the head of our program, for instance. Okay, and even your colleagues and also students. Okay, you see our discussions among teachers with the new development, with the migration. Things are changing. Okay,
Mhm.
but you don't have to migrate if you are not ready.
Mhm. Yeah.
Stay with the old LMS. Ask your teachers to access as they used to, for instance. Okay, so don't be panic and spread your the problems to your students.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Pak Ahmad.
You're welcome, bro.
Would like to address more about what Buneni has said. That is a new address, right, Buneni?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So we cannot log in. So they have to make another account of ours. Yeah. So that's how it goes. All right. Um, just thinking the reason for updating this just because to catch up with the technology or what?
One of
Um,
the
yeah.
important reasons of updating a program is about security issues. Okay. So it is not only about
Okay, makes
about
sense.
the face values. Okay. It's not about the interface. It's not about keeping up to date with the trend. Okay. The first one is about security. Okay, and something that we can do. Okay, right now that in the past it was impossible. Okay, like what I informed you before, uh, there will be a lot of things new for me. I can see a lot of opportunities for me to use the feature for my students. Okay. Some features which was absent. Okay, a feature that was absent in the previous LMS. Okay, so you are not forced to use the new system, especially the teachers. Okay, you will have a lot of time to consider it. Our institutions will not force you to migrate within weeks. Okay, no. Okay, there will be semesters ahead. Okay, so you can use the sites. Okay, both sites, websites. Okay, and again, if you are not ready with the migration, stick with the old LMS. Okay.
Pak Ahmad, there is
Mhm.
something important that we already informed to our students, especially for those who are now still in their countries and with the time zone, time difference, they need to pay attention for the attendance. Like some teachers are really concerned with attendance and the punctuality for coming to the class. And then the LMS is just like classroom. When we come to the classroom, we as students are supposed to be on time, or there are also rules in Polinema that in some cases cut different from one course to another course. It really depends on the teacher. Therefore, um, I wasn't following all of your materials quite well previously. Have you already touched the part of how to access and click the attendance in this session?
Okay.
Mhm.
There is a part of the activity book. So basically, for students, what they can see is the menus, and when there is that menu, students can click on it. Okay, they have to learn how to access the activity. Okay, so let me display it again. Okay, so let me share uh, my slides again. So I believe it is on screen right now. Okay. I didn't discuss every single detail of the activity, okay, but as the information and the menus are quite intuitive and also communicative to follow, hopefully students can can read, okay, and can follow the instruction. Okay, so for instance here, as you can see on the screen, you have menus, you have assignment. The symbol is your hand with a piece of paper, okay? And then you have attendance. Okay? You have heads, okay? Displays rows of heads. That is attendance. Okay? So be aware of this information. Okay, and it is the responsibility of the teacher to provide clear instructions about what students can do with the menu. For instance, with assignment, it is mandatory for the teachers to provide information, let's say, do this assignment within 1 week. Okay. And then with attendance also, it is mandatory for the teachers, okay, to write down something underneath the menu. Okay. Please provide your attendance by clicking on the menu. Okay. So what students need to be aware is especially the icon of the activities. Okay. So first the icon, and the second one, okay, they should rely on teachers' instructions. Okay. So it is mandatory for the teachers to provide as clear information as possible. Okay. So it applies to all other menu. So some teachers may use a new activity not discussed before. Okay. For instance, you will see the so-called interactive activity. I didn't touch that part yet. Okay. But believe me, for students, okay, there should be clear instructions from the teachers about what to do and when to do it. Okay. Yeah, so that's all good from your question.
Thank you, Pak Ahmad.
You're welcome.
Maybe our students also need a little bit information about this sort of video interaction, teleconference, something like this. Commonly, it all depends on the teacher, right? Whether they want to use Zoom or Google Meet or Jitsi. We haven't got any update yet from Polinema about that. Just to clarify.
Yeah, LMS is only an option of the so many other options to communicate and to interact with teachers. And Polinema, our campus will not restrict the use of a certain type of platform. For instance, right now, our institutions are encouraging all teachers to use the LMS. Okay? But still, other platforms, whether it is of a similar feature like Edmodo, for instance, or maybe something totally different, okay? Institutions still welcome these differences. Okay? So whether using Google Meet, for instance, or Zoom are still available, okay, not restricted. Okay, there is a question from Malau, David. Okay. Is it possible to be using smartphone only, or there must be a computer? Okay. Remember the question that I was asking, the questions that the committee were asking at the beginning of your enrollment, your recruitment, I think, okay, whether you have a laptop or not, and you should have it. Okay? But if it is only about accessing the LMS, okay, you can use a laptop, you can use a tablet, you can use a smartphone. Okay? The design is so user-friendly. Okay? So when you use smartphone, your experience will not be uh, difficult or maybe too overwhelming. Okay? It's the same thing actually, the same interface but different size. Okay, but if you rely on your smartphone to create a report, then you can face a very serious issues. Okay? For instance, you have to write a 10-page report, for instance. Okay? You can imagine how fast you can write with your on-screen keyboards on your smartphone. Okay? So smartphone is usually intended for quick response and not not too long, okay? Not to type things which need to be quick. I mean, it is writing a report quickly, but smartphone is to type message quickly, okay? To design something with limited functionalities, for instance. If you need to have a more powerful platform, then a laptop is much better. Okay, so again, if it is only using the information, if it's only about accessing the information, smartphone is sufficient. Okay, but remember, if your teacher assign you to work on 50 page of report, okay, 50-page report, okay, then you can face a very serious problem. Okay.
Well, there is another question, Pak Ahmad. In the LMS, is there video call like in Zoom, WhatsApp?
Yeah, in our LMS, there is this functionality. Okay, there is a video call. Okay, usually there will be an extra feature that can be added or removed. Okay, so our system is so versatile. Okay, it's so flexible to expand. Okay, so when you need a certain functionality, you can plug it in. Okay. When you don't like it, for instance, you can remove it, even for a video call, even for video conference. Okay, but our system is hosted locally in our institution. Okay, so if the load is too heavy, then you will experience a major disturbance to your experience in using the feature video call. Okay, you can imagine, for instance, Google is maybe the giant of international corporation in terms of technology. Okay, but still sometimes you have problems with the connection. It can be the problem can be within the system, the Google system. It can be with your connection. Okay, Google uh, Google has maybe millions of servers available to back up their connectivity. And you can imagine our campus has only maybe 10 servers. Okay. If the load is so big, then there will be a very serious disturbance to your experience in using video call. Okay, so that's why video call is available, but it will not be activated. Okay, by default, it will be not be activated. Okay. For instance, you use a video call, video conference, for instance. Okay, so many people will use Zoom. Why? Okay, Zoom is light in terms of the bandwidth usage. Okay, it is very user friendly in terms of the navigation of the menu. Okay, so far this is the best. Okay, even compared to uh, major platforms like Google Meet or Microsoft Teams, for instance, people are still preferring on using Zoom Why? Because it is proven to be the best. Okay. Now, what about our LMS? We don't have the proof yet. So if it is only about there is this menu, then it is easy. Okay. But will you have comfort? Will you have the experience which you expect to have? Will you enjoy it? Okay. It is like, for instance, you have a motorcycle. Okay, can you put an extra seats on your motorcycle? Well, you can. You can have an extra carts, okay, behind your motorcycle. Will you enjoy riding the extra carts? No. Okay. With your cars, you can have extra seats on top of the car, but will you enjoy the same comfort like those inside your car? No. Okay. So with our SMS, with our LMS, okay, there is also this functionality. If the institution has a very powerful server, okay, and of course the connectivity is good, okay, then you can request this feature to be activated.
Yeah, thank you, Pak Ahmad.
You're welcome, Bu.
We still have
Can I have one more question?
Sure.
Yeah, can I have, yeah, Pak
Amira.
Ahmad, I'm just wondering, oh, my internet not connect, unstable, okay. Is my voice clear?
Very.
Yes,
Clear.
Bu, it's clear.
Okay, Pak Ahmad, I'm just wondering if you can share some advice and tips to our students to get familiar with this online learning with LMS pretty soon, and to succeed in this online learning. What should they do? Because some of them are very new for this, especially when they got like low internet connection. Thank you very much.
There is no best experience, okay, except first-hand experience. So if you are listening to me, then you will not know what to do. Okay, you will get confused. Maybe you will get overwhelmed too easily. Okay, so that's why the the best possible way to make sure that you can use the LMS quickly is to log into the system. Okay. We have provided you with the access. Okay. Remember that you can access the LMS, whether it is the old one or the new one, for instance, with your student ID. The username is your student ID and the password is also your student ID. You can change it later on. Okay. So we have provided you with a demo class. So try to interact with the class. There is a submission button. Try this. Okay. There are materials to read. Okay. So click on it. Scroll up, scroll down. Download it. Okay. Share it with friends. Okay. Use some menus to communicate with friends. For instance, try all of them. Okay. It is a demo class, so whatever you do will not be graded and will not be considered as a real classroom activity, as a real course. Okay. You can write anything, of course, be friendly, try to be polite as well to others. Okay. But in short, you can do almost anything with the system. Okay. The system will not break. Okay. Even if you make a lot of mistakes in using the LMS. Okay. And of course, while working on the system, while working on the LMS, you may have difficulties, perhaps. Okay. As I told you before, you can click on your dashboard. There is the word participants on the left-hand side. You can click on it. Okay. You can see your friends. You can see your teacher. Okay. There are two names who are, I think there are two teachers available on the course. I display two names over there, my name and Buhilda's name over there. Okay, so if you get confused, then you can send messages, questions whether it is in a forum like this or maybe through the LMS. Okay, so once again, my advice, okay, to make you get accustomed to the system, to the environment of the LMS is log into the system, use the LMS, explore the possible resources provided, the available resources available at the LMS. Okay. Maybe I missed a question from you, Wilda. Did I answer your question?
Yes, exactly. Let me highlight the key point. That's explore. And sometimes exploring something, we need to make mistakes, and that's fine, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that's what I always do, making mistakes. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, it should be, our system should be fault tolerant. Okay, so when you make mistakes, okay, then it should be normal. It's human, so the system can still handle the mistakes. There is a question, should we have a laptop since next week? The first activities that you are going to experience, okay, during your study session here in our campus will be online activities, online classes. Okay, online classes can be accessed through your smartphone or your laptop. Okay, but okay, as I informed you before, when it is only about seeing one another, like in a video call like this, in video conference like this, for instance, whether you are using your laptop or smartphone will not make any difference. Okay? But when your teacher gives you an assignment as a part of a course, okay, to write a report, let's say in 1 week, you have to finish a report. At least you should write in 50 pages. I believe that using a smartphone will be a very, time consuming and troublesome. Okay? So that's why using a laptop can be better. But of course, if you can stand it, you're welcome to use your smartphone to write a report. Okay. So that's why at the beginning of the recruitment process, the international office was already asking you whether you have a laptop or not. Why? Because it should provide you more comfort in participating in online classes. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Pak Ahmad, I saw Abraham raised his hand. So Abraham, do you want to ask a question?
Sure.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you to everyone wherever you are, and I really appreciate.
I barely hear your voice.
Okay, I'm saying I greet everyone wherever you are, and I'm very fascinated for what you are doing. It is really good for all of us.
Sorry,
So what
I cannot hear you.
Oh,
Could you increase the volumes of your device?
okay.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying I really appreciate your presentation and all of the viewers. We appreciate what you lectured to us today. We, especially me, I'm all a student here in Polytechnic and Agiramala, and I came last year. But we were using different format of communication as you stated before. Like our teachers were using what is called Google Classroom. But we were using also for practice LMS. So is it mandatory for all the lecturers to use LMS, or also they can use what is called Google Classroom? Because most of the teachers last semester they were using Google Classroom, and we see it was functional. But right now, is it mandatory for all the lecturers to use LMS, or also they can use Google Classroom? And thank you. That is my question.
Okay, thank you, Abraham. I believe I have been addressing this issue before. LMS is a part of our service to the community, to the students. Okay. Rather than using outside resources, okay, we try to provide with our in-house resources. Okay. Of course, it is a service that has been provided since the birth of our institution. So that's why it is an encouragement to use the LMS. Okay. It is not mandatory that teachers should use only our LMS, Polinema LMS. Okay. Whether teachers are using Google Classroom, Edmodo, for instance, still relying on WhatsApp communication, for instance, well, okay, at least we do not have, barriers, okay, with the teachers to communicate. Okay. What we expect is that classroom activities are still in progress, okay, are working properly. The communication between the teachers and students are smooth, for instance, okay, and teachers can submit grades timely and correctly. Okay, that's it. Okay, but we try to manage the activities in such a way so that in the long run, students can have one place to access everything. Okay. One reasons of our migration, even from the old LMS to the new LMS, is that there is a plan to integrate our grading process in such a way so that teachers will not have multiple assignments just to prepare students' grade. Teachers can just go into the LMS, teach as usual, give grades, and everything will be right away, seamlessly connected to the grading reports. Okay. So Google Classroom is still allowed. Okay. Teachers can use any other platforms they feel comfortable with. Okay. Some teachers need training. Some teachers are new to the LMS. Why? Because some teachers are new as well in our institution. We do have some new teachers. Okay, so that's why using Polinema LMS is not mandatory. Why should we provide you with this kind of training? Because some other teachers may require you to use the LMS. Okay, I think whatever the path that the teacher that a teacher chooses, okay, using LMS, using other platform, for instance, okay, the responsibility is the same. Okay. He or she should provide enough sufficient information of how to use the platform. Okay. And it is our concern in our campus, okay, that relying on Zoom communication too much will be too costly for every party, whether teachers, whether students, for instance. Okay, Zoom is too costly. Okay, so that's why there is an encouragement not always to use a video conference. Okay. 1 hour Zoom sessions, for instance, will consume about 1 gigabyte of data plan. Okay, so that's why it can be too costly for some of us. Okay, so that's why, Abraham, it is not mandatory to use a certain platform. Now, teachers are welcome to use any platform they feel comfortable with, and they can use with with their students. Okay, but there is encouragement, and it is a process, okay, of integrating a lot of things in the system And one of the plan is to connect the process of learning and teaching, especially in the grading process, okay, to be seamless to the system, single sign-in for everything. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your impressive presentation of today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Abraham. Okay. Sorry, Abraham, are you in your home country right now, or are you at in Malang already?
I'm in Malang, even in
Okay.
this Kuching, Kumis Kuching.
Jalan Kumis coaching. Okay. Well, Abraham was my student a few years ago, I think. Yeah. Okay, glad to see you here, Abraham.
Thank you.
Since Buneni is currently not available, um, I'm going to help Pak Ahmad Suyono as the moderator right now. So there's one question from Chan Paul. I'm wondering if it's already addressed.
Okay. Yeah, I
Demo
think.
course be
Yeah.
graded.
Okay. But let me highlight it once again. So all of you are enrolled in this class, okay, at the lms.polinema.ac.id. So it is just a demo class, okay. It is for you to use, to try, and also to practice with the system, okay. You can submit anything, but do not expect that it will be graded. You can do the quiz, but do not expect that your teachers will be present and will be scolding you. Okay, so don't worry, it will not be graded, and you can start practicing with the system, with the menu as you wish.
Other questions, please, while we still have time?
I understand that this kind of training can be, again, overwhelming for the majority of the students. They are not accustomed to using the website. Maybe it is the first time that they see such kind of platform, and then they have to see, they have to deal with things that maybe do not have any real connections with themselves. Okay. I can try to use the activity, but what for? Okay. If they have to submit an assignment, okay, because there is a need, they will work very hard to understand the instructions and to submit it correctly. But right now, because it is a demo class, I think that, well, I can do it later on. I don't understand. I can try to ask my friend. Okay? There is no real force to try.
Yeah,
and
even if I have taken the LMS courses many times, but it's still very confusing for me. It's a tough thing for me.
For teachers, it can be very tough. Okay, why? Because you know, it is like LMS, especially Moodle, is like a tractor, a huge machine which can break almost anything right in front of you. Okay, but sometimes what you need to do is just to hold a glass. When you need a tractor, then what for, right? So that's why we have to positions ourselves as a user who needs different things, and not everything should be done by the LMS. Okay, and not all menus should be used at the same time. So that's why, especially for the teachers, if you get confused, at least try to log in, try to open the class, and remember that there is a menu there, setting, turn in, turn off. That's all. Okay, that's the beginning. Okay. For students, there should be no problem. Okay, why? Because what you need to do is just to click on the menu. It's like, opening a website. Okay, and then there is a clickable menu. When there is a clickable menu, I think that there is a different symbol of the cursor. Okay, so you can click on it, click and see what is happening. Okay, it will not affect on uh, on the machine, on your laptop. Okay, it will not affect on, you know, your personal lives, I believe. Okay, why? Because the contents, the systems have been designed in such a way, okay, so that it can be, as I said before, fault tolerant. Teachers, for instance, are limited to use a certain menu, only to create, or maybe only to use a classroom. Okay. For me, for instance, as an administrator, I can do more. I can delete. I can add. I can change. Okay. So that's why if you get too confused with the system, well, just relax. You still have a lot of time to try and to retry. Don't worry, boo.
Yeah, and also for students, just for your information, that this whole session is being recorded and also being live streamed to YouTube. So later on, when you have to deal directly with LMS and you get confused, you can always revisit this video. And I'm planning to do the same thing, Pak Ahmad.
Okay. This video will not be providing thorough help. Okay, it is only discussing surface materials. Okay, I promise to Bu Hilda, I will try to provide written guidelines for students. Okay, hopefully a more resourceful material. Okay, with links, with some extra resources available. Okay, and don't forget, as I told you before, everybody, our LMS is Moodle based. It is MOODLE. So if you get confused with our LMS, you can go to YouTube and click on Moodle. Okay, you will have similar help. Okay, for instance, how to submit assignment. Okay, you don't have to wait from us. You can go online and you can type in the word submitting assignment in Moodle, for instance. Okay, you will uh, you will experience the same help as you expect from us, even from YouTube. Okay, Moodle is very popular. It began from a project in 2003. Okay, so you can see how old it is. Okay, it is not as user friendly as other platform. Okay, uh, but it is very powerful. Like I said before, it's a big tractor. It's a big machine.
Yeah, can I comment on that statement, Pak Ahmad? Yeah, I think this is really related to the next session, which is going to be presented by Pak Ardian. That is how to access, to maximize online learning, and also find resources from the internet, from online resources. So as you already informed to our students that you can simply find information in the internet by Googling it or finding in YouTube about this LMS by typing the keyword Moodle or Moodle based something like that. So like being a university student, you need to be more independent and self-reliant. Therefore, when we've got a problem, for example, in LMS, we find the information ourselves, and we need to be able to also um, communicate and also connect to other people in our class, or like what Bu Nadia said yesterday, to your advisor if you've got problem. So don't just be silent, or try to solve your problem yourself. You've got friends, you've got people to ask. Therefore you need to seek and find help about this. And this is completely new, not just for you, but for us too. With the new type, new version, we have to try to learn what is going on with the new system as well. So we both are learning together. Yeah, so that is it. I give time then to the moderator to continue the session.
Yeah, thank you very much, Boyolda. Is there any other question, everyone? We still have about 15 minutes to go. Please, if you have question, because yeah,
Yes, I'd like to welcome and greet new members coming here in our meeting room. There are Dostoni and Nigora, I guess. There are new students from master's degree of applied accounting. Yeah, so yesterday they didn't join us because they still got the letter of acceptance like in a few minutes and before we started the orientation or the welcoming ceremony yesterday. So welcome, Dostani and Igora.
Thanks a lot, dear Miss.
Yeah, Nigora.
Yes, thank you, Ibu. I am here.
Okay. Okay, I think your name is not really strange. Have you been studying in Indonesia?
Yes.
And Dostani too, right?
Yeah, I have studied as a Dharma
so
right?
Dharma Siswa. So both of you are the alumni of Dharma Siswa.
You know, but connection for me is very poor, but
okay.
I have appreciated about
yeah. So this is to inform to others as well that Polinema start from this year. So expecting master's degree students. We've got international students studying master's degree.
Are you hearing my voice? Hello. And you know, I have appreciated studying. I have finally passed for master's degree about the accounting. Next time, I am trying to attending to be active in punctual talking or learning about my qualification or my subject. But initially, for orientation opens a ceremony, I have not attended. But to all of the students and participants, I told them welcome. But I have best hope all of us.
Okay, maybe do you have some question, Nigora and Dostoni, for our session about LMS to Pak Ahmad? Is everything clear to you?
Yes, everything is clear.
Okay.
Sorry, because study by heart a punctual. I am so sorry because my network has a problem about talking. Sometimes it is connected, sometimes it's disconnected. But all of delegates students, you know, it was for me very happiness, present, because I have met some of you, and I have looked some of you. I think all of us during study will be active.
Yeah, thank you, Nigora and Dostoni. Yeah,
you know,
maybe.
Yes, I'm so sorry because you know, for me, network is problem a little, but sometimes it's connected, sometimes disconnected. But to me, get a hesitate, headache. But I'm trying to attend. Next tomorrow, maybe my network will be better. But I have a pressure.
Today is the last day. Today is the last day of the program, of the orientation program.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you can access, you can revisit YouTube link for yesterday's session. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I
Yeah.
will what kind
Okay.
of the points it is important for me. You know, I will
Yeah.
get some of points like slogans, like of the theme about the ceremony. But I'm so sorry because
Yeah, we do understand your situation. Yeah. Yep, Ahmad, maybe the whole thing is about the connection. Yeah, that happened to us when we selected the students. Remember a couple months ago that we selected students and using video call and we tried to get a platform fit them. They did not, did not have Zoom, so we had to use somehow fit with them. Is that emo or somehow something like that? Well, anyway, we we're doing our best to do this online learning activity run well. So it's okay, guys. It's no problem.
Well, okay. Is there any other question? Oh, yeah. I see Pak Adian. Good morning, Pak Adian.
yes, it's you know, I speak or I will not speak, but I have appreciated thanks for all of our participants. But I'm so sorry because yesterday I have not attended some of problems. But next days, inshallah, I have best hope to attend with like we start our lesson. But I have appreciated. Thanks for Dr. Hilda, Pa Ahmad, because today he explained something about us. We have got some of new experience and skills. It was initially like first study at the Polytechnic Negeri Malang. I have appreciated. It's like
Okay, thank you, Dostoni. Maybe we can continue our program then. Buneni, yes?
Yes. Well, okay. Is there any other question for this session? Oh, yeah. I mean, ask question again. If you have a program or programs other than Microsoft Office on the laptop? That is the question from Amin, Pak Ahmad. Bu Hilda, can you hear my voice?
Very clear?
Yes, very clear.
I think Pak Ahmad cannot hear your voice, Mbak Ning.
Pak Ahmad? Pak Ahmad? Pak Ahmad, you are still muted.
Still muted.
Sorry, I forgot to turn it on. Yeah, Bu. So I think what I need to present is already there, everybody. Okay, so hopefully things are useful for you, and maybe someday we will meet again. Thank you.
Oh, Pak Ahmad, here we have a question. Sorry. Yeah, should we have a program or programs other than Microsoft Office on the laptop?
It is for different courses. There must be different requirements. Okay. For instance, in information technology department, you may need to have Android Studio, for instance. Okay. In marketing management, there will be video promotions, for instance. Maybe you will need to have a very good and sophisticated camera, for instance. Okay, so it depends on the requirement of the teachers and also courses. Okay, so do not expect that one rule will apply for others. Okay,
Thank you, Pak Ahmad. I think that's the last question. And what I can underline about today's session is that learning using LMS can be done by practicing. If you practice it, and then you will be able to handle it. And then please remember about your username and password. Maybe you can save it and pay attention to what is displayed from the teacher about the materials, about the assignment, about the attendance, and even the restriction that is especially on the date and on the format of the file that you have to submit. Okay. Well, I think that's all. Thank you very much, Pak Ahmad. Thank you. Thank you so much. And maybe Pak Ahmad, do you want to say something? No, okay. Well, I give the time to Ibu Tanti for the next session.
Okay, thank you, Bu Neni, for the beautiful session. And then the next session will be taught by Pak Ardian Wahyu Setiawan, SPD, MED, and EDD. Hello, Pak Ardian. Good morning.
Hi, Bu Tanti. Morning.
How are
How
you
is everyone
today?
Not too bad. Yourselves? I hope everyone is doing great today.
Amin, amin.
Hi,
I'm great.
Brilda,
Thank you.
Pak Ahmad, Neni. Bu Nadia is there. I can see.
Selamat.
Hello, Pak
Nadia,
Ardian.
Bunda. Okay, Pak Ardian is the expert staff of academic affairs, the trainer, and also the English lecturer at Polinema. Yeah. Okay. He was graduated from State University of Malang for her bachelor degree and Monash University for her master degree and Adelaide University for his doctoral degree. And then today Pak Ardian will share about maximizing online resources to support independent learning. Okay, so let us welcome Pak Ardian. Pak Ardian, time is yours.
Okay, thank you so much for the chance to present today. Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is doing great. And first, I can see that we have around 37 participants, so around 30 students today. Bu Tinta, Bu Tanti kok Bu Tinta sih gimana sih? Bu Tanti.
Yeah, so
Sorry. I always remember Dian Sastro.
Name
Okay.
There are 37 students, including us, Pak Ardian.
Oh, okay. So I would like to first, I would like to congratulate all of students here because you've been students of State Polytechnic of Malang, and that's a great achievement, I guess, because as the national rank shows us, the State Polytechnic of Malang is one of the best vocational higher education institutions in Indonesia, and you should be very proud of that achievement. Okay, now let me share my screen here. So I'm going to share this with you guys. Can you see my screen here?
Okay,
good. So for the next 60 minutes, I'm going to share with you some online resources, some basic online resources, which you can use for independent learning. But I would like to open these sessions by showing you this picture and also these lines. So all cups are waiting for the teapot to pour the tea. All students are waiting for the teachers to teach them. Teachers teach, students learn. Now from this line, we know that actually teaching and learning are two different things. Teaching belongs to the teachers, learning belongs to students, belong to you guys. So you don't have to wait for teachers to teach you something, but you can learn by yourself. You know that you don't have to wait for teachers to pour the tea. You don't have to wait for teachers to teach you something. So learning is yours. Learning is yours. It's on your hand. Sorry, let me close this, blocking my screen here. Learning is yours, it's on your hands. You have the power and authority to set your own learning. So don't wait, learn independently, learn autonomously. Okay, that's the opening of these sessions. We come with the idea of independent learning. So what is independent learning? But first, I would like to remind you the first point, that teaching is different from learning. Teaching belongs to teachers. Learning belongs to you guys, belong to learners, belongs to students. Independent learning is the ability to think, act, pursue your own studies autonomously without the same levels of support you receive from a teacher at school campus. So this is what is expected from you when you don't have teachers besides you guys. Okay, and why we need to do this? Because first, I think so far most of us, I think, we have used the teapot and cups style in learning, and we need to change that. We need to use different style and different approach in learning, which is independent learning. And second is because at this very moment we have a COVID-19 pandemic, which then hinders us from our face-to-face meeting, and we need to encourage independent learning to help you get knowledge and skills, not only from teachers, not only from the institutions, but also from your own motivation and also initiatives, from yourself. Okay, to do this, you need to do these 4 skills, 4 steps. Okay. First is you know exactly what you want to do. In that sense, you have to define your goal. You know what you want to get, what you want to learn. And then in the next stage, you identify the steps that you need to do to achieve the goal. So let's say I want to learn something about computers. I want to learn something about how to find scientific articles. I want to learn about how to use or apply this, or use this software or this app. Then you have to define first, and then in the second stage, you need to identify the steps to achieve that. And then in the next stage, you choose the strategies. And in this case, you need digital literacy. And later on, I will explain what digital literacy is. And if you need support from your friends or you need support from your teachers, then you can reach out for support. If you don't understand a specific concept, for example, you can always contact your teachers or your friends, your peers, ask them about things that you don't know, and then you can get support from your teachers and also your friends there. Okay, let's talk about digital literacy. What digital literacy is? It is your ability, an individual's ability to find, evaluate, and compose clear information through writing and other media on various digital platforms. Okay, I know this sounds simple, but it is not as simple as it sounds, because if we dig more and we find more information about digital literacy, actually this concept encompasses lots of skills and also knowledge. But for today, I would like to limit this. I would like to focus on 3 aspects only, that is to find, to evaluate, and to compose. And therefore, today I would like to share with you guys how to use some tools, online tools, which you can use to find information for your study, information about knowledge, and then some aspects that you need to consider when you choose informations or resources. So skill to choose reliable resources. And the last one is compose, skill to produce writing. So I'm going to share with you some tools that you can use for note-taking, which is very important in your study. Okay, let's discuss the first skill, that is to find. How to find online informations or references on the internet. Now you have to be aware that actually not all informations on the internet is true, and it can be used for your study. For example, informations presented in Wikipedia that is not reliable because Wikipedia is a social platform, and that means everyone in the world can write something on Wikipedia, even though you can also find some academic references there. But because of this open nature of the platform, therefore you cannot use Wikipedia as a scientific references for your paper or for your essay later on if you've received assignments from your teachers. Now, I'll focus on two things: how to find general informations and references. For general informations, I think it will be very easy for you guys because I know you are familiar with the internet and also with Google. But for finding references, you can use Google Scholar, Microsoft Academic, for example, I mentioned here, and base a Bfield Academic Search Engine, Core Science Gov from the government of the United States, Semantic Scholar, Baidu Scholar, and Web of Science, and of course, Scopus. Now, you can directly visit this website. Later on, we'll try after this. You can directly visit these websites and open the websites and try to use and find informations and articles there. But you need to consider two things here to evaluate. That is the criteria that you can use as a basis for selecting the informations. You have to make sure that the informations you obtain informations from reliable sources, like those I mentioned here, Google Scholar, Microsoft Academic Base, and make sure that you don't take the informations from Google or from a blog, for example, like WordPress or Blogspot, or any open platform in which everyone can write something there. And then the second one is currentness. Okay, please consider currentness when you use informations from articles for your assignments, because later on in your study you will receive many assignments, and then you have to put references in your assignments and tasks, and therefore you have to make sure these two criteria are met: reliable sources and currentness. Currentness is actually the years when the articles were published. So it is advised that you use the latest, most current references from these reliable sources for the last 5 years. They will be very good for your article. Never use outdated references. Okay, let's say you receive an assignment and the teacher asks you to write an article, and then you put references from 1978. Okay, and that would be, sorry about this, the background sound, guys. Somebody is selling something just in front of my house. So, so reliable sources and currentness. Okay, let's try to open the first search engine, and I will stop sharing here, and I will show you how to use Google Scholar for this, for finding, okay, let me show you here, Google Scholar. Okay, so this is the landing page. We call this the landing page, the first page of Google Scholar. Google Scholar is different from Google in specificity. This is more specific because you can use this for finding scientific articles, academic articles. So as you can see here, I've logged into my account, and on the upper left side, you can find this is in Bahasa Indonesia, in Indonesian language, but it's actually my profile and my collection. And that means if I click this, I will have my collection, which is still empty. How you can use this? You can actually, for example, if you want to find articles about COVID-19, I will just put the keyword here, COVID-19. And then you have some articles here, and then you can change this. I'm not sure how to change this, the language, but I'm going to show you that actually. I'm going to click this since 2019 to to find the current references from Google Scholar, and then I've got these publications, these scientific articles from Google Scholar. Now, I have this star sign here, and that means if I want to put this in my collection, I just need to click this, and I have this, and this has been saved in my collection. Okay, so I'm going to open this. Okay, and then I've got this article of, okay, I've got the PDF versions of this article. It's quite slow here, but let's just wait. But the point is that one of the sources, search engines, which you can use for finding scientific articles is Google Scholar, and this is a reliable resource, reliable source of scientific articles. Okay, and okay, I've got the PDF here. And, all right, so the next one is, wait, okay, this one, Microsoft Academic. So we are lucky because Microsoft has also provided this academic search engine, and this is actually much better than Google Scholar, because you can, as you can see on the left side, we've got filter, which then we can use for choosing the year of the publications, and also the focus of the articles. Like if you want to get, I have already put some keywords here, English for specific purposes, and then I've got these top topics related to English for specific purposes, and then of course we can choose this whether we want to get insights in relation to this topic from the field of psychology, for example. So it's much better in the sense that this provides more tools for filtering and for selecting your articles. We've got time, we've got top topics, and also we've got publication types, right? So, and the third one, I will only explain like 3 of the search engines today, because later on you can browse by yourself and you can open the search engine. And this one is from Base Search, okay, just like this, but more or less they provide the same features that is for finding scientific articles. Okay, so you need to remember that you cannot put any general informations in your academic assignments, because you need to put reliable resources, reliable informations for your task. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing now. Okay, screen share now. Okay. We have used some academic search engines. Is everyone still here? Hello.
Hello, guys.
Okay. I just want.
Yes, we're still
Okay,
here.
good. I just want to make sure that everybody is still alive, because I cannot see.
Okay.
I'm sorry, guys. It's quite difficult to talk to my screen, because I cannot see anyone here. Just white and just just the screen, and without with the students I can see in front of me. So but anyway. Okay, so the next app, the next skill that you need to have is note taking, guys. Why? Because you will read lot and lot articles. You will download many articles from reliable sources like Google Scholars and also other search engines, and also from academic journals. Okay, one of the things that you have to do is note taking and managing the informations, how to manage ideas. So for this for this objective, you can use Google Keep. Why I recommend this applications, because this app is free and you don't have to pay anything. And also you can install this on your Android phone. That means you can have Google Keep on your phone, Android phone, and also you can access this online, and it's the two are synchronized, and that means you can access this anywhere, from anywhere, and also anytime. You can have information there. Okay, you can use this Google Keep for saving, organizing, and retrieving. And don't forget to always do this every time you read articles, because you will read not only one or two or three, because I believe it will be very easy for you to remember key points and ideas from like one article or two articles or three articles. But later on in your study, you will have to read like 10 or 20 or 25 or 30 or 50 articles. And therefore, it will be very difficult for you guys to manage ideas that you get from those articles if you don't have the right tool to use that. If you don't use software, if you don't use like this kind of applications for saving, organizing, and retrieving ideas from that you get from the articles. Now I'm going to show you how to use this app. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to open first Google Keep. I like this app because it's free. We always we love two things, guys: free things and discount. All right, so I'm going to share. Ladies love that. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Okay. Okay. This is the page Google Keep. So I have my activity here. Penelitian corpus. Aduh, I have to do this, guys. So keep, and we can also set reminders, and that means if you get assignments and you need to be reminded about the schedule and about the time on which you have to submit your assignments, you can also click these reminders and put note here and set the time, and this will also will also be synchronized with your Android phone if you log in, of course. So this is my picture, and this is the sign that this is my account. You need to go into your Google account, sign in there, open this, and then open the Keep Google, and also install Google Keep on your Android phone, or I think you can also have this on Apple phone. And then you can have your notes and also reminders synchronized. And you can also use labels here, edit labels, and create new labels for organizing the informations and also ideas that you get from articles. I think this is a very useful feature, because you can then organize information based on tag, based on keywords. So like Polinema, this is the work that I do with Polinema, and Prosemantics actually the work I am currently doing with other things I do besides activities I do in Polinema. So we've got these notes, reminders, and then tagging, this one, labels that you can labels. And of course, you can always open this trash, and then you can recover this if you have some information that you put this within 7 days. Okay, but luckily I don't have that. Right, so you can also have list view here, and of course setting to set this the theme if you don't like, and then more applications from Google. But okay, I'm going to stop sharing here and go back to my slide. Okay. Right. So that's a very brief introduction to Google Keep, guys. And now I'm going to show you other things. So do this, always do this. So the thing that you have to remember is these three words: save, organize, and then retrieve. if you read many books, many articles without saving and organizing, it will be very hard for you to retrieve the information. It will be very hard for you to write something because, you know, our brain is limited. Our brain is, I don't think we can remember like 50 articles that we have read. So we need to do this. Okay, other things, next one is Google Doc for proofreading and editing. Okay. For me, English is not my native language. My first language is Japanese. I'm a Japanese, and Indonesian language is actually my national and also my second language. And therefore, sometime as a student, I need to use a spelling and grammar check. And in this case, I love to use this spelling and grammar feature of Google Doc. I know in Microsoft Word, if you open Microsoft Word, they also provide a spelling and grammar check. But I think this feature that Google Doc has is much better because it is connected to Google Engine and it's online, and that means it's backed up by a richer cloud data. So let's try this out. So I have to juggle from here and there. Let me show you, and I'll open Doc Google. All right. Okay. Where is Google? Title. All right. Here is, this is what you need to do. You go into your account, log in there, and then you can click Tools, Spelling and Grammar check, of course. Okay, when you write something, then Google will help you to identify the mistakes, the grammatical mistakes, and also spelling mistakes that you make in your writing. Okay. For example, I put something like this, and okay. For example, okay, let me. I think we love this phrase. Suddenly, I've been there. Okay, right. So click this. Sorry, Tools, and then spelling and grammar check, and then Google Doc will tell you, okay, change R the to is. So the document is right. Okay, and then document spelling and it looks good. No, something is wrong here, Google. Then of course you cannot rely 100% to on this Google Doc feature because, as you can see here, even Google cannot identify the mistake here. So this is one of the features that you can use for Google Doc. I would like to share more about this because, you know, perhaps sometimes you will need Google Translate, and I think it's okay to use Google Translate. And if people usually use Google Translate as a separate website, now I'm going to show you how to integrate Google Translate in this document. So what you have to do is you can actually add Google Translate as an add-on in Google Doc. So you need to find add-ons and then get add-ons and find try to find Translate Plus. Click here, Translate Plus, and then you've got Translate Plus, which is the add-on Google provides for for Google Doc. So you install this. As you can see, it's already installed on my Google Doc. So I close this, and next is I need to click this add-on and find and locate this Translate Plus and click Start. And that means on the right side here, I've got Google Translate as my partner in crime, not in crime, for doing my job, right? So let's say I want to write in Bahasa Indonesia. Okay, Okay. Oke, tugas ini bertujuan untuk membahas faktor-faktor yang mempengaruhi motivasi mahasiswa, which actually in English is this assignment and so on and so on. Okay, I'm going to check this whether Translate Plus is going to produce the sentence that I want to get. So what you need to do is you need to highlight this in your language, of course. You need to set this first, whether you are using Albanian, Arabic, or Armenian, and it's supported by Google engine and database and translate into English. Okay, so I'm going to highlight this first and then translate here. And I've got this. This assignment aims to discuss factors, and also you can edit this. Discuss factors that influence students' motivations. And then when you are happy with the result, you can click insert, and then Google will directly replace your original sentence with this, like insert here. Right. Very simple, but this I think will help you in producing good good assignments. And it's because you are expected to produce assignments of good English, with good English. And therefore, this will help you. I know that some of you, or perhaps most of you, are not from English background, and perhaps English is not your first language, and therefore you need tool support to do this. But again, I need to remind you that this is only a supporting tool, and you should not rely your academic life should not rely on Google Translate. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and then I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint. Butanti, how much time do I have?
Sorry, you still have 17 minutes, Pak Dian.
Okay, quite much time. So I think
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Google Doc has more powerful spelling and grammar checking ability because it is supported by Google data and also databases. And what is more from this app is actually a saver because you work online, and that means if you are experiencing crash with the computer, or which happens many times in my computer, because my computer is quite old and not reliable, so I decided to use Google Doc. I work with Google Doc because Google Doc will save my document last time I edited. So in seconds I edit this, Google Doc will directly save this. But of course, you have to work online. You have to provide internet connections, and then Google Doc need to access the internet connection so that Google Doc can synchronize to Google Drive. So any documents that you edit with Google Doc, Google will save all of the documents in Google Drive, and that means you will have Google Drive. Oh yeah, and also I'm not sure if you will receive email from Polinema, but if you have a Google account and are using Gmail for your email, make sure that you use your name, your first name, your last name. Like my email, I have ardian.setiawan@gmail.com, which is Ardian is my first name dot my last name, for my professional communications with students and also teachers, because by then teachers will be able to identify who is sending the assignments and who are they communicating with. This is very important because I found that some students use weird names which are not their names, and it is quite difficult for teachers to identify who are sending the documents and also the assignments. Okay, we have tried this Google Doc, and the next one is I'm going to show you how to use this referencing software that is Crossref. Why referencing? Because we need to acknowledge the contributions of other writers and researchers in your work. When you are writing your assignments, you need to cite ideas. You need to use ideas that other writers, other researchers write in their articles, and therefore any university assignments that draw on ideas, words, or research of other writers must contain citations here, and you have to acknowledge the citations. Therefore, referencing is a way to provide evidence to support the assertions and claims in your own assignments. While referencing, this also indicates that you read something as a basis for your ideas. Okay, you please always read something, read articles, scientific articles, and use ideas for scientific articles for backing up your ideas, for supporting your ideas, your arguments that you put in your article. Okay, and then if you use ideas from other writers, from articles, you need to put reference system. For the types of the reference system and also the styles later on, perhaps when you participate in a specific course, then the teachers will tell you what type of styles they are using in the classroom. Okay, but today I'm going to show you this system. So stop sharing and cross-ref. Right, so this is very simple because I'm going to open this cross-ref. So if you open a cross-ref or RG, you will find two columns there. First is search site, and the second is search metadata. So if you click this search site, and that means you will be able to browse the website of this crossref, which you don't want to do that because we don't need the website. We need the metadata from the article. So you click this, and then you can put the title of the articles or the author. But I recommend you to put the title here because authors' names sometimes are similar. So Ardian is not only me, so many people have the same name. Many individuals have the same name. So I put the title here, for example. Oh, this is my last search. So aerobic assessment. I click the keyword here or the full title, and then I just press enter. Come on, help me out. Okay, and I have this. Right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort out journal articles. Okay, in this case, you can also use Crossref as a search engine. So as you can see here, Crossref provides a list of published articles and from various years of publications, 2019 and 2011, and then you can choose the years of publications. And this means you can also use Crossref as a search engine for finding information. But Crossref is the main functions of Crossref is not that functions, but this one. If you think this is your article and this article is cited in your assignment, so and you want to cite this article and put this article in your list of references, you need to click actions, and then you need to click cite and choose the style that the department or the study program asks you to do, asks you to use. Whether APA, Harvard, IEEE, MLA, Vancouver, or Chicago. Now, well, for my field, I usually use APA too. So I click this, so I have this ready to use formatted references. So I click this copy, and then you can paste that on your list of references in your Office applications. Anyway, about the last questions in the previous sessions about, is there any software for document processing besides Microsoft Word? Yes, we have LibreOffice, we have OpenOffice, we have, of course, Google Doc is a very powerful online office, well, not office, a document, what do you call that? Document writer. And you can use those applications for helping you with the writing things. We also have presentations, PowerPoint, similar to PowerPoint in Google Doc. And please try Google feature and that will help you. Anyway, Polinema's email, our email in the campus, we use Google as a what do you call that, as a basis of email, and that means when you use email from Polinema, you can actually access all features of Google, and that's for free as part of the Google email that you use. Polinema.ac.id is actually Google email. Okay, I'm going to stop this, and then I'm jumping here and there. Sorry, guys. Okay, so I'm get back to this point. Now I've got like how much time? Okay, we have tried this. So that means you are ready for running. And I need to remind you about the first point that we've discussed in the first point of this session. That is, teaching belongs to teachers, learning belongs to learners. Learning belongs to you guys, and you have to be autonomous learners. Okay, learning starts from yourself. You don't have to wait because of the pandemic, and also the need to change our learning style. And we don't have to wait for teachers to give us knowledge and skills, but we have to be able to identify our own learning needs and also our learning goals, and then to identify and determine this set of steps and also strategies that we need to apply in order to achieve the goals that we set as the objectives of our learning. So now you are ready with those basic tools you can use for learning, and for more tools and more informations, I think you can browse the internet and find lots and lots of applications, and of course, if you have the ability to do self-learning and also self-assessment, you can assess yourself, and then you can identify what you need to get, what sort of skill set that you need to get, and then you have the ability to learn by yourself. Nothing can stop you guys. So you are ready, and thank you so much. That is my session for today. I close this. Thank you guys. Now I think I will send this screen back to the moderator. Bu Tanti, ada kebalik-balik. Bu Tanti.
Aku tinta padamu. Ya.
Bu Tanti, okay. Sorry guys.
Okay, Pak Ardian. So great and helpful presentation. I think the student is also
So I hope they find
interested to your presentation.
Well, things will make life easier, I think.
Okay, simple yet helpful ya Pak Ardian ya. Okay, great. And there are 2 students who are asking in the chat box, Pak Ardian.
Okay, I'll read it out.
May I read this? Okay, so from Chan Paul Amon, when using Google Docs, is someone checking your work or only you? Or maybe the availability of Google Doc,
Oh, okay.
Who can check? Who can check the work? Everyone can check or only us?
Okay, you have both actually. You have both features. If you set your doc as a private document, I mean, you save your documents in Google Drive, right? So if you set your Drive as a closed document and you lock it with your password, and nobody can access it, and that means your documents will be personal documents. Only you are the one who can access the documents. And the great thing about Google Drive and Google Doc is that you can also share this with your friends. I mean, you can send your documents to your teachers and then give them a link to access your document. And in that sense, someone else can check your work for you. Okay, someone else can check and evaluate your work, open your work and edit this. Even you have some setting, I guess, few edit, and I forgot some setting, but you have to try. So you have 2 options there, Chan. You can set your documents and save this to be a private documents, and you can also share your folders and also your files with your teachers, with all your, also with your friends, of course. Okay.
Okay, so
The
we
next
can
one
do both,
is,
yeah. Okay.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Bu Tinta.
Oh. Okay, the next is from Rafon Gizon Mikaela.
Okay.
Okay, I would like to ask, is Google Doc free to use? Or
Ah,
is it limited feature if it's free
free
version?
fashion.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Well, fortunately, Google is a very nice uncle. So everything is free there. You can go and you can use whatever you like. And that's what we like about Google. I think when Google died, Google will go to heaven because of this. So it's free. So everything is free in Google. You can use Google for your study. You know, if you sign in into your Google account, on the right side, upper right side, you will see some dots there, 9 dots. You can actually click those dots, and then Google will show you lots of features that you can use, that they provide, and you can use those apps for your study. And I think that will be very useful for you guys. Okay. Next question. Oh, no questions. Okay.
Maybe is there any question
Can I
from
Any
ask a
user?
questions, guys?
question?
I will be very happy to answer and help you out with your
Can I
study.
ask
Hilda
the
wants to
question?
ask the
Yeah.
question?
Yes.
Okay.
Can
Yes,
I?
please. Yes, please.
You know that is the beauty of learning is we want to learn. This is a lifelong learning and it's a lifetime learning. And I always envy my students, they still learning, like they've got like the privilege for learning. So, when becoming student is like, you know, uh, the best time in our lives.
Yes,
Mhm.
true.
Yeah, that's true. So let me just inform to people here, like me and Pa Ardiana, actually, we were
Mm,
studying in the same time, but not in the
yes.
same university. Those times in Adelaide, Pa Ardian was studying PhD in Adelaide University, and I
Mm,
was
yes.
in University of South Australia. Mhm. So, Pak Ardian, thank you so much for sharing us with the sources, the powerful sources for us, and I also learned something about Google Safe. Um, this time, I always do things like note taking online using this, yeah, and find it quite useful.
Mm,
But you know that because of this, just its book note taking is quite limited. While doing that kind of note taking, which is online note taking,
mm,
you've got
mm,
a lot of space. Usually, what I'm thinking now is that while you are having that access to save those a lot of information, sometimes we got overwhelmed.
mm,
Sometimes when we find, it is very easy for us nowadays to get resources everywhere, like in Google Scholar, for instance. In one click, we can access, let's say, 5 articles. In 1 minute, we can get them all very easily. My question is that how can we find information which really we need? Okay, so that sometimes we got very um you know we got excited, we've got a lot of information, then we got a difficulty or we got challenge to digest or to select or to choose the information that's actually we need and useful for us, that we can work for our
mm.
assignment. That is my question. Thanks.
Yes, thank you for the questions, Bu Hilda. I think most of us, if not all of us, also experience the same problem here. So today, our problem is not access to information, because in the past, our problem is access to information. Books are not available on the shelf. Uh, Books were too expensive to buy, and at the time, as a student, I did not have enough money to buy books, or well, I spend that for other things actually. But now our
You
problem,
spend for clothes.
yeah,
Or
for
food.
coffee.
Or food.
Now our problem today is that it's very easy for us to access information, and much information is available on the internet, and we, as you have mentioned, we are overwhelmed. So we've got much of information, lots of information to get from the internet, and I also experienced that problem too. And I feel that, and from my experience, selecting and being critical on the information and selecting of information very useful. So we need to be critical. We need to select the information. We need to choose information. A very simple method you can do, guys, is selecting information based on keywords. So every time you read articles or documents, prior to reading, you have to identify some keywords that you need, that you will use as a guide, as guiding keywords in your reading. It's very easy for us to be dragged out of the topic, because we are interested in many topics. When we read something and we find interesting topics that are actually not related to what we are looking for, and it becomes very easy for us to be dragged out of the topic. Now, what I usually do is that I write at least 3 or 5 keywords, and that will be my guiding keywords, which I use for guiding me in finding out information from the internet. So by using keywords, if let's say I've got a problem and I'm becoming more interested in different topics, then these keywords will remind me that I need to stick on them and finding information related to those keywords. Okay. Oh, I forgot to do one thing, Wilda. Can I share it with the student?
What was that? Sure.
Google Keep is also available as a plugin. So I'm going to share with you guys. Sorry guys, this is so important that I think I need to share this with you guys. So I'm going to share the screen first. Okay, I'm going to close this. Now, if you see my screen here, I actually have on the upper right, I have some sign here, and this is Google Chrome. So to have this feature, you need to use Google Chrome as a browser, not Internet Explorer, not Firefox. So use Google Chrome released by Google, given by Google, and then you can install this, get this from Google Web Store. And if you see here, I have this sign. Okay, and that means any article which I'm reading, I can save it. Like for example, psychology. I have this article and I want to save some lines, some paragraphs from this article. What I need to do is I need to highlight this. Okay, like this one, for example, and then I click this keep, save to keep. So that means I click this and it's okay, it's saved in my, so it's saved in my Google Keep. So this is very simple. So you can also open a PDF file, open article using this Chrome, and then you just need to highlight the sentences you want to keep and just click this yellow, you need to sign in. Okay, I need to sign in. Okay, and just click this, and then you need, Google Keep will save this for you guys. So that will be very simple and very practical. Okay, that's it. Okay.
Oh, that's really useful. Yeah. Now, I have a little bit thinking about that, but Artin, when everything is really easy, you know, to keep those, you know, information into Google Keep, then right now, another challenge is how to, what is it, to paraphrase. Like when we want to write our assignment, right? So the issue for paraphrasing is not to plagiarize.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the idea of plagiarism will be now the issue. So do you have a kind of tips when we've got that ideas? For example, we've got that one paragraph. So when we want to paraphrase, means like we have to
Yes.
write in our own way, in our words. Do you have a kind of tips in order not to be plagiarized, uh, in order not to plagiarize these ideas with this kind of, you know, information? Maybe what should we do?
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a very important thing to remember and to do, Bu Hilda. Thank you for reminding me about this app called Quillbot. We are lucky because we've got Quillbot, paraphrase engine. You know, if you cite somebody's work and you take sentences from other sources, you cannot just directly put the paragraphs in your document. You need to paraphrase that. You need to change that in your own sentences. And I know it's not easy to paraphrase, and therefore you can also use an online tool based on AI, based on artificial intelligence. Wait, I'm going to open this first. It's called Quillbot. Okay. Let me share the screen with you guys. Okay. So here is how Quillbot looks like. So it can be accessed from quillbot.com. And then I'll give you one example. Let's say psychology. Okay. Psychology of perceptions. I love psychology, and therefore you can easily find it here. Now, let's say I want to use this line from this website, and I want to use in my own sentence, but I don't. Let's say I'm having or experiencing difficulties in paraphrasing. I need to use this. Just copy this, and then I put this in this paraphraser, Quillbot, and put it here. And you know, you have different modes, standard, fluency, and so on. You need to log into so that you can access all features of this online application. This is not free, but you can use this app for free, but you've got limitation like 700 characters for each processing. And that is, I think, more than enough. So you need to check this sentences by sentences. So I just click this Quill 8. And then this engine will, you know, show me this, you know, change the directions. In social psychology, the term person perception refers to different mental processes that we use to form impressions of other people. Now, it's already paraphrased here. So the word individual perception in social psychology refers to the various mental processes we use to shape perceptions of other individuals. And now the cool thing about this online app is that you can also edit this here, and Quillbot will provide some alternative words, some words which you can use for replacing the word that this bot suggests. For example, I click this word. So I've got term, phrase, concept, expression. Now I want the term. So I'm going to use the concept. The concept, individual perception, various. Okay, involves. This involves. Now I don't really like the word involve, so I'm going to change this, and I'm going to use this concerns with, for example. Now you can always edit this, right? So that is the Quillbot that you can use, guys. But again, this is a tool only, and please use. I mean, the brain is us. Okay, so every time we want to, when we are doing assignment, when we are writing assignment, it's our brain that is working, not the bot, not Quillbot. So we have to use those apps and other apps similar to Quillbot with precautions. Very carefully use that, because it's just a tool. And if you rely on that and then you send the assignments, the results of your assignments to your teachers will know it easily that it's not your work. It's, it's just Quillbot work. So yeah, just be very careful with that. Thank you, Wilda, for reminding me about
That's very, very smart and very useful for me too. Thank you so much for sharing with us.
My pleasure. Okay, we still have some time here, I guess.
Other
Yeah.
question? Yeah.
Other question,
we
guys?
We still have 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yeah. Before we close the session, is there any other question, guys? Or maybe Bu Neni, Bu Nadia want to ask the question? No.
Questions and answers over coffee.
Yeah. So during the pandemic, we can also have coffee together in your own house. Yeah, in your own house.
Okay.
Yeah, and just help check first before you have coffee.
Okay.
You can go to the nearest puskesmas and get the health check certificate, and you can get coffee.
Okay.
Right. So do you have still? Yeah. do you still have questions from students, guys?
Okay, people. Maybe you've got some. Is that much or? I don't think so. That's too much. But again, I believe that this is really helpful for them. They learn something. I just know that Google Doc can help us dealing with what is it with translation, yeah.
Translation, yeah. Me too,
Yes,
Wilda.
yeah. Now I don't want to introduce that in our program.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Well,
that's quite dangerous.
I'm a translator, but I never knew that. I'm a translator, but I never knew that.
Let's just keep that a secret
too for me.
That is what we always learn when we, Pak Ardian always gives us new information, which is really helpful for us. Yeah. Again, guys, whenever you got information, it really depends on us and fit with our needs, of course. Yeah. If you don't need it, and you might not probably use it. Yeah, but we should know and we should learn how to do it. Just like, okay, Google Doc, yeah. We use Google Doc to work together, but not for translating. But again, remember that you cannot just simply use the machine without working on it. You need to, you need to read, and you need to also edit. You need to work and add, improve, and again evaluate. You cannot just simply then bang submit to your teacher.
Yeah, yes, true.
Because the process of learning then, with just one shortcut, okay? And this is really dangerous if what you do is just shortcut. It's
true.
not good. Yeah.
True.
Okay, thank you, Wilda, for the valuable advices. Okay, if there is no question, I think enough for this session, yeah?
Yeah, I'd just like to, again, congratulate all students, and congratulations and good luck with your study, guys. And I'd like to remind you again that learning belongs to you guys, so not the teacher's work. So teaching and learning are two different things. And again, tools are just tools, it's your brain that is going to work in the process of learning. So use the tools wisely and don't abuse them. All right, so have a nice day, everyone. Thank you so much, Bu Tita, Bu Tanti, Bu Hilda, Bu Nadia, and everyone, all students here.
Thank you very much, Pak Ardian.
Thank you. for this great session. And then I will give it back to Bu Nadia as the host, yeah? Okay, please, Bu Nadia. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Butanti, for leading the session, and thank you, Pak Ardian, for the priceless knowledge, for the priceless insights. Remember, students, you can always revisit the materials today through our YouTube. Bu Hilda, will you share the link of our YouTube to our students later?
Yes, I already shared the link.
Okay, great. So just save the link or save the keywords, and then you will be able to find it on YouTube anytime you need it. All right, so I think this is the end of our orientation program and our welcoming ceremony. I have been very happy leading this two-day session, and also congratulations for all students, and thank you for coming and for participating, for actively participating in this session. And thank you for students who are not new but are willing to attend our session and get some knowledge as well. So thank you very much. If either Bu Hilda or Bu Neni have some information regarding the immigration compliance or office related issues, please, time is yours, or otherwise I will close the session.
Okay. First of all, I would like to inform to all the participants that the e-certificates will be sent after this session is over, but not right, but we need to process at least one week for that, yeah, because we need to also we have some participants outside Polinema. That's why it needs a little bit long process. That's the first thing. And the second thing, while we are still, especially for the international students, the next stage is for you is to register, I mean, like to the system. You already got the student identification number. However, you haven't registered to our system yet. That's why we're going to inform you dealing with that registration by sending you Google form for you to fill out the details that you need to do that pretty soon. And about the LMS, as what Pak Ahmad informed that to you, the module or the guideline will be given later. He's still working on that for the guideline, and also the guidebook for the international students or the international programs. We are still also processing it because we need to update with sort of new information dealing with immigration, which still keeps changing until right now, and also update with and discussing with our top management. And that would be an issue of the what is it, the scholarship for you who are now in Indonesia, or for the 10 students, the new enrolled student, for those who are in Indonesia, for those full scholarship student, you can get a stipend by opening the what is it, the the BNI account, and then it will be transferred automatically. But those who are overseas, this is practically new for us. I discussed this with the Vice Director 1, and there isn't such answer yet. So we need to think about it, because it will be pretty challenging or difficult for us to do that. Yeah, especially when the system it's pretty new, and with this work from home, online, it will be very challenging, and we need to be patient. Yeah. So again, that is it. And don't forget to fill out the attendance for all of you, because we're going to check it. Yeah, especially for the new enrolled student. this is obligatory to join the session. Yeah. However, as Nadia told you that once you miss some information, you can revisit the YouTube channel. Yeah. Thank you very much, and thank you. So hopefully that you gain something, you gain information, you gain new knowledge with these 2 days. So keep learning and keep motivated. Thank you very much, everyone. And I'll give the tone to the moderator and host.
Thank you, Bu Hilda. Before I close the session, I just want to say hello to some of our local students from English department who are attending our session today. I saw some familiar names here. Sania and who else? Yeah. So thank you for taking the time and for just making use of what we have offered to you. And for other international students, especially the new students, welcome to State Polytechnic of Malang, and I hope you can get the best out of your time in our campus, virtually or probably later when things are better. I hope to see you in person. Okay, so I will end this session. And have a good day, have a good weekend, and see you everyone.
Shall we have a photo session before we leave?
Oh yeah, you're right. We should have a photo session. So turn on your video, guys, because we're going to take pictures. I almost forgot that. That's the most important thing. Okay, let me know when you're ready. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? Say cheese, show us your smile. Okay.
Yes, we are ready.
Great, and then the next, hang on just a second. Next slide, please. On 3, I will take your picture. 1, 2, 3. Great. Thank you, everyone. You guys have a great weekend. Bye.
Bye. Stay safe, stay healthy,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Bunadi.
Stay safe, stay healthy. Wash your hands often.
Wash your hands.
Hey, Munadia.
Eat good food, exercise.
Be happy always.
Be happy always. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye.
Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.